It's time for Sage 2025. For the uninitiated, this is basically a Sonic fan's Christmas because we are bombarded with so many amazing and ambitious fan projects from Sonic, Mega Man, Nintendo, and other fandoms. We also get looks at upcoming indie game projects, so there's so much to look forward to each year. Like last year, we're gonna do things a little different and start with Mega Man. I'd like more time with the Sonic titles, and I was waiting for Sonic Unleashed 3DS to be available. Now that it is, I can finally play it. Let's kick off our 2025 coverage with the Blue Bomber. I'm gonna highlight two games that I looked at last year but had small updates since that last video. Mega Man Game Maker 2 Remake returns with Gutsman stage. There are some improvements over the last year's build, like Mega Man being able to line up with the ladder, but I can also finally drop down to the next screen instead of dying in certain areas. To me, that's the bigger improvement. I still can't slide under blocks, but that slide comes in clutch when I really need it against the boss. It's not super useful now, but I bet it would work really well against Iceman. It's a good effort to recreate the original Mega Man, even down to the spike death. If I had some notes, the Hyper Bomb is almost like I'm throwing a Super Ball at times. Gutsman's platforms move at weird intervals where it becomes a waiting game to get through, and Gutsman can go from just jumping around to being extremely aggressive. But that's about it. I still recommend checking this out because it's a lot of fun to play Mega Man 1. Yeah, you heard that right. Anyway, go for it, and to the dev, I hope to see more of this project. Mega Man X Omega Blaster returns with new playable characters, though I was only able to use them in the Legacy version, which still looks better than the supposed HD version. If you haven't seen it, it's a 2D fighting game similar to Mega Man The Power Battles, which is a very appealing idea. Unfortunately, I cannot think of anything else that's too different. I'm still able to exploit most battles as X, but the moment I get to Nightmare Mother, it becomes impossible. Changing the difficulty in the options doesn't seem to do anything, and then there's playing as Zero. His attacks make it impossible to exploit the game's engine, but it's still pretty easy to keep some of these enemies in a loop. The game does have a new version of Zero I was able to use in the Smeary Pixel version, but the slower main attack made him unplayable at times. Even with the higher damage output you can sometimes get, X has two armor variants which vary on playability. The Moonlight armor has the best moveset of the two and allows for a very good special attack that does a ton of damage. The Jotun armor is just terrible. There's a cool special attack that shoots the combo count very high, but the drawback is that the range is almost non-existent, and the windup takes nearly a second. This makes bosses like High Max impossible because he can just teleport constantly, and I can never tell if I'm breaking him out of his shield. I hate to sound harsh, but it does seem like this game wasn't tested for these additions to make sense. Go for it if you'd like, that's all I can say. And now we're going to do something interesting. There seems to be only one Mega Man inspired game at Sage this year, though if I am wrong, do not hesitate to let me know because I would really like to cover it. Anyway, the game is Roble. Truth be told, I've been following this game for a while and it looks very appealing. Once I saw it in the showcase video, I knew I had to try it out. First of all, the art is absolutely amazing. I'm really digging the sprite work and I just love the many uses of purple. It's a great color to work with. The music is also pretty sweet too. Now for the game. You're given abilities similar to Mega Man. You have the standard shot, a charge shot, a slide, and the flop? Okay, that's actually kind of funny. But I did find a use for it in Hana Soul's level. Just like the Blue Bomber, you gain the ability to use attacks from other bosses when you defeat them. There are only two in this demo, which can be hit or miss. The Garden Vine was far more useful of the two since it goes really far and does a great job of dealing with unwanted enemies. I couldn't find an effective use for the Flame Claw due to its shorter reach, but there was something else that irked me about it. So when you slide with this sub-weapon equipped, it results in you doing a dash, which is neat, but it drains the hell out of your energy meter. It's situational, but I really don't want it because I can't slide then attack with the claw. Maybe if I was able to charge into this attack, I'd find more use for it, but I'm just not a fan. We can't talk about the game without discussing the levels, and holy freaking crap! These levels are so much fun to play. Playing off of fun gimmicks like retracting vines or just being a tougher Springman stage, I had a blast going through this game. The poisonous enemy in Hana Soul's level threw me in for a loop, but I love how well many of these hazards in the game were implemented. If I had to nitpick a little bit, I'd probably adjust the springs and spikes near the end of Charwolf's stage. That last jump might be a little too close for comfort. I was going to complain about the sideways springs launching me into these spikes, but it's not as much of a concern if you've experienced it once. Having enemies and panels deflecting attacks that could hit other enemies was not something I was expecting to enjoy as much as I did, but it was pretty damn cool. Now for the bosses. Hana Soul's battle was a little much at first, but once I figured out the pattern and what I was capable of, I locked in. Honestly, this one was a lot of fun to go through. Though if you try to use their weakness, it's not as easy. Sure, it does more damage, but I think it's better off having the distance with the charged plasma shot. Charwolf was the opposite. At no point I thought I was in any trouble. I might have gotten incredibly lucky here, but yeah, this was a complete cakewalk. There is a suggestion I do want to make about this fight. When they go into the attack where they bounce off walls and have all these projectiles going around, make them immune to attacks. They appear to be engulfed in flames, and it seems to resemble that of a bullet hell shooter. Why not add the extra challenge? Sure, it's going to make you wait a little bit, but I think this is acceptable. Again, it's only 2 levels, but this game is definitely worth keeping an eye on, so give it a shot. Mega Man Zero vs. the Universe is a game that puts the players in the role of Zero as he takes on characters from other universes. The build has Shadow and Goku, so really this should have been called Versus the Multiverse. Multiverses. Anyway, these are 1v1 battles in the style of a Mega Man Zero boss, and holy crap, you're given so little health compared to your opponents. Fortunately, you can earn upgrades like the extra health and the sub-tanks because you're gonna need it at first. Shadow doesn't mess around, and even if you figure out his attack pattern, it's still a great fight. But I was not ready for how aggressive he was this early on. And before I say any more, it really does feel like a Mega Man Zero game. I'm sure there's something here that doesn't feel exact to the GBA originals, but as somebody who's only really played a bit of the first game, it feels close enough. Using the right bumper does feel kind of odd, but this is pretty standard on the Game Boy Advance and the DS, so I got a more authentic experience. Following the fight against Shadow is one against Goku, and this gets a little ridiculous. Before I go any further, these intros are amazing. Like, damn! It's reminding me of some of the high-quality animations I used to watch 10 years ago. Anyway, he has this combo that does so much damage, but aside from that, I only really got through this fight by attacking when he had a charged Kamehameha. Without that, I would probably be cooked, which can still happen in the second phase. This is where he transforms, and when I first fought him, this fight was actually a lot easier. Sure, he goes all around and charges a big Kamehameha, but the 3-slash combo is very powerful, and so is the charge attack. I did go back to fight both of them to see what I missed, and it's really RNG if they'll give you the openings to attack. Goku's Kaioken is probably the deadliest combo in the entire game because he just smacks you around and does a ton of damage. My other reason for going back is to earn crystals for upgrades. You're graded on how well you fight these opponents. Your score is anywhere from 0 to 100, and you're given a rank. The score that you get will also reflect the amount of crystals you get so you can use it in the in-game shop. While you do have items that'll help you out with your health, this game also has a bunch of costumes, which is going to have you grinding for a while, if you really want them. But if I can make a suggestion, I would probably add a harder mode just for the battling. I don't want to try to S-rank something like that. Maybe something that could scale up a little bit more when you have all of your health upgrades, but I do want this as optional. I don't want this as a mandatory change. But yeah, this one's really worth it. Give it a shot, and let me know if you get that elusive S-rank against Goku. I love dmakes. We've been over this, but they're really cool, and it's great to see what fans can do with limited palettes, limited abilities, or just getting rid of an entire dimension in their dmake. Mega Man X dmake takes the iconic 16-bit platformer and Mega Man X's debut, and turns it into an 8-bit adventure through the intro and Chill Penguin stage. You can play the game as X or Zero, and if you're wondering, yes, he has his saber and it's a lot of fun to use. It's pretty faithful to the source material, and has a pretty solid NES-ification of the game as well, if you want to call it that. You can still obtain the leg upgrade in Chill Penguin stage, but you have a lot less text from Dr. Light. And with a purposefully limited control scheme, the game feels closer to like Bass in Mega Man and Bass, or Mega Man 10. I was also going to say Mega Man Extreme, but I think those are better examples. And the reason I say that is because the dash button can be executed by pressing down and the jump button. There's not a whole lot else to bring up, everything's pretty faithful, it's visually appealing even with a minimal look, and the music is nice. I love these dmake projects, and I'm definitely looking forward to playing future builds of this game because this was a lot of fun. I'm surprised I never played the Sage 2021 build of Mega Met during that year's event, even though I played the Star Force fan game on my second channel. I eventually gave it a shot just to see what was up, and I really liked what I played. 4 years later, and the game makes its return to Sage. But before I continue, I should disclose that I am a tester for the fan game, though I don't believe any input that I've given has affected this build of the game. I joined recently. I just wanted to get that out there in case there's like some kind of conflict of interest. I want to avoid that junk. The idea of the game is as if all characters, enemies, and bosses were turned into Mets. It still plays like a traditional game, but with a few additions. Yes, you have the shot, the slide, and the ability to use weapons by defeating robot masters, but the game introduces Mega Met's helmet as a shield. You can deflect small projectiles and the absolute smallest enemies, which gives another way to dispose of some obstacles or to give you some defense. The only drawback is that it's limited, which I think works out. You don't want something super overpowered. There is a bar next to the player's health and will deplete the more you use it. Thankfully, it can be replenished by waiting or by picking up these helmet items, so it's not like you have to be very careful with blocking. It's really neat, but it works really well with the levels that set you up just right with it. I found myself using it sometimes, but there are other instances where a Mega Buster Shot works fine enough. The game has an intro level to help you understand your new abilities, and the current demo has 4 Robot Masters. Before I get into that, I can't get over how Mega Man and Dr. Wily have become Mets. It's hilarious to see Rock angry at the evil doctor. I love it. There are 4 Robot Masters who have been given the Met treatment: Tornado Met, Ice Met, Magna Met, and Tomahawk Met. And I'm just gonna put it like this. The level design has got to be the strongest point of this game, because it's got the right amount of challenge with moments where I had to stop and say, damn, they really thought of that. Honestly, it's a great time. Some of it is stuff we've seen before, like the magnets from Mega Man 3, but the devs really went all out to making players navigate up and down, using the ice to form a path in Mega Met stage. Then there's Tornado and Tomahawk Mets levels just being incredibly solid. They're not as gimmicky as the other two, but all 4 of these levels had me engaged at all times. Even the weapons are a blast to use. The only issue I guess I would have are the bosses. The ones like Ice Met, they're fine. It took a bit to understand Magnet Mets, but I'm still very iffy on Tornado Met. Maybe I just need to jump in and play a couple more times. Nitpicks aside, the game plays really well and these remixes are fantastic, and I honestly can't wait to see what other remixes we get in the future. Oh, and this game is absolutely beautiful. I forgot to mention that. The graphics, spot on. It's got the NES Mega Man look. There's not much to dislike. Try it out if you haven't. In fact, try out all the games shown off today. And I think that'll just about do it. Hey everyone, and thank you for checking out today's Sage 2025 video. Which one was your favorite? Let me know in the comment section down below, and if you haven't played them yet, don't forget to try them out. There's going to be a link to every single game featured in this video in the description, so you're not going to pay anything except for a bit of your time. Aside from that, if you're new to the channel, don't forget to like and sub and click the bell icon for notifications for more content. And at this time, I want to thank the channel members and supporters of this channel who are both on YouTube and on Patreon. I'm going to have all the channel members at the Chaos tier, which is the $1 tier. Their names are going to be scrolling right now, but the super tier members have paid for verbal shoutouts, and they are Ultimate Jack and Dalton Furry. And if you want to support the channel with a monthly contribution, you can do so with either the join button below this video, or you can go to patreon.com/GottaBeFrank. Lowest tier is $1, and you get a couple of perks like exclusive videos. Don't forget to also check out my Twitch TV page because I'm going to be streaming there, so I have plenty of things that I want to do, especially Mega Man Battle Network, because I'm going to go through all of the Battle Network games, and I'm starting with Battle Network Operate Star Force, or Shooting Star. Twitch.tv/GottaBeFrank, remove the E because somebody else took it. My socials are in the description as well, so if you want to check it out, feel free. And with that said, I hope you have a wonderful and safe day. I'll see you for the next video, because we got more Sage coverage coming up, but I also have a Sonic Racing Crossworlds video coming up as well. So, again, have a great day. I'll see you in the next one. Until then, take care. Bye-bye. Damn it, my chair squeaked. Okay, let's do that again. Take care. Bye-bye.